Dirty Biscuit podcast. My name is Ben Gosselin. This is Ryan Davis. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Ben?
Not too bad.
I'm having lots of fun going on Instagram, finding lots of the new memes and stuff. So,
well, it's awesome, dude.
Been doing a good job keeping myself busy.
Yeah, it's a little bit boring in the quarantine. Hoping it ends pretty soon. I think they're looking towards the end of May. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a little bit of NHL before this.
I think we'll see restrictions in normal life ease up by the end of this month. We probably won't see anything back to normal till the end of the month, but
that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing too. Yeah.
As I heard, beginning of this month is supposed to be the worst. The middle of this month is supposed to still get worse. But after the middle of this month, it should start declining, and we should see it drop as fast as it was rising. So
that'd be awesome.
That's what I heard. So that's from what I've seen. I mean, there could be other statistics out there that are saying like otherwise that I haven't seen, but that's just from what I've seen and gathered. So
I think the scariest part about the whole thing is that no one really knows anything about it.
My thing is just I'm just gonna keep following what the government says. I think that's the only thing you should do. Don't listen to anybody online. Nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. Nobody has even been alive for something like this, so nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. So don't listen to anybody online.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got a lot to get to today. We're going to talk about the NHL player polls that came out like about a week or two ago from the NHLPA, as well as a little bit about the California teams' struggles over the past few years. So we'll jump right in here on the on-ice player polls. Who is the best forward? 68% or 68.35% of voters voted Connor McDavid as the best forward in the NHL, following with Sidney Crosby at 14.9, Nathan MacKinnon in third, and Nikita Kucherov in fourth. What are your thoughts on that?
This is disgusting. That's such disgusting. Like, you know what's funny about this too?
What?
Is 3 out of the 4 of them are Canadian.
Yeah.
Right. Two of them are from Nova Scotia. So I don't know. I feel like Nova Scotia's breeding is you're either really good or really bad.
Well, three of them are Canadian. Fourth one's Russian, obviously.
Two of them are from Nova Scotia, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy that 2 out of the top 3 are from the same fucking province. So crazy.
Elite.
Do you remember when they did that video at Tim Hortons a couple years back? They were like doing the drive-through. I don't know if you saw that. That was so funny.
Which one?
Nathan MacKinnon and Sidney Crosby were.
Oh yeah. You see, when I first saw Nathan MacKinnon and Sidney Crosby, now I'm not 100% sure. I don't even know if this clip exists. I could just be remembering this wrong. But I remember seeing it the first time I saw those two interact with each other. I always thought Nathan MacKinnon was like, now, trust me, I'd be the same way if I saw Sidney Crosby, if I met him for the first time. But he just seemed like a fan, and I loved it. I loved it.
It's awesome. He talked about that too. He's such a huge fan.
Yeah, like if you look at some of their earlier promo videos, like they do seem like they have gotten a better dynamic since then. Like it's obvious.
Yeah, for real. But I do have to say, I do believe Connor McDavid is the best forward in the NHL, even though Sidney Crosby's been there for longer. I do feel like McDavid's just
He's on a whole other level.
Yeah.
And I wish we had more McDavid so we can make a league full of McDavid so we could have NHL crazy. Super League. We could have NHL Super League. So I don't know. I feel like that if we could just breed a bunch of Connor McDavids, that would make
NHL would be so exciting. Wow.
Breed Connor McDavid.
This comes to no surprise as well. The best defenseman in the league was voted as Victor Hedman, followed by John Carlson in second, Roman Josi in third, Drew Doughty, and Brent Burns in fourth place.
And you know what I've noticed with a lot of defensemen? Everyone, and it seems like almost every year, everyone seems to be like Victor Hedman's the best, if not one of the best in the NHL every year.
Yeah, every interview that comes out about asking about the best defenseman.
Dude, I really think he is. And I'll tell you why, because you see how many defensemen can you have that are 6'6", first of all, Swedish, so you know he's a good guy. 6'6", defenseman that can move the puck, skate faster than half his team. You're like, dude, do you see that guy skate?
Yeah,
he can skate like the wind.
He just controls the game.
Yes, like sorry, he's not as fast. I don't mean it like that. He's just so smooth out there. Right. He's such a smooth skater, and that actually helps a lot of players a lot. And the way that guy can just push the play, dude, like that guy. He's the MVP of the Tampa Bay Lightning, because you saw when he got injured. Sure. When you saw he got injured against Columbus, they were toast. I mean, they were toast before that, but they were toast.
They were toast. He was drafted 2nd overall in 2009. This is his 11th year in the NHL. And I think right from the beginning, I think everyone kind of knew he was going to be this kind of dominating presence. Maybe not to the extent that it is.
No, I bet you no one saw the extent it is. But the thing, what I'm sad about is I hope he doesn't run into problems like injury problems like Carlson did. Because, I mean, you saw how he could carry. He carried that Ottawa Senators team against Pittsburgh in that playoffs.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like that ever for hockey. Like, holy shit! How does a guy carry a team on one leg to the conference finals and lose because of that slap shot? But I think he's like a bigger Erik Karlsson that is better in his own end.
Right. I do believe it. I think Erik Karlsson too is just a different kind of player. He kind of jumps into the play more, I think, than Victor Hedman does. But maybe that's
he's definitely more offensive. I would say Hedman's definitely more responsible in his own end and making sure the pace of he's
more stay at home.
But he's still offensively outstanding. Like, you watch him on the power play, he can move the puck as well as any power play quarterback.
Super high hockey IQ.
I had to think of this earlier yesterday, and I was thinking about, and I think I told you about this a while ago, but you just fucked with me about it. I was like, I don't understand why a lot of NHL coaches haven't tried to push multiple shapes of power plays. Now, what I mean by that is, say you start a power play on a diamond, an umbrella, and they choose to run a diamond on the PK. Okay, so is there a way you can teach your players and to figure out in the pace of the game where you have one guy look up and he's always the one, and I'd say that would be the quarterback because he's always facing the structure of the PK, right?
Right.
Do you think that should be a thing where they learn how to change from maybe an umbrella to an overload in the middle of a power play to confuse the defenseman? Or do you think power plays right now are already fast enough where we can move the puck as it is and there's no need for that? Because the way special teams are becoming more and more important in today, you got to find ways to get the leg up, and maybe a leg up is switching that style before anyone else does, or maybe I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that idea. It's kind of similar to, I think, what you're saying. Like in the NBA, they'll put up a number and they'll be like, run this play. Mm-hmm. If the defenseman or the quarterback can read the play and maybe give some sort of signal to change the formation, I think if your power play is not running well, anything that you can do to really switch things up.
That's what I mean. Like you're not getting any good looks. Well, we'll figure out a way you can transition from maybe an umbrella to an overload, maybe an umbrella to like shooting type power play. Like it's
because the different ways teams run penalty kills can really make a difference.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
A power play like Boston maybe don't do that, but ones at the bottom of the league, for sure, I would say try to switch it around, maybe try something new. What do you have to lose?
Yeah, I know, exactly. And you never know, like a few years ago, if you told anyone that there'd be 4 forwards and defensemen now, power play, you'd be like, what? You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Although,
or even talking about pulling a goalie 3 minutes left in the game. A few years ago, people would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why the hell would you do that? But now you see happening a lot.
Yeah. And regular season doesn't mean anything in games.
And that's what I don't understand. You have 82 games, and I know there's the saying you can't make the playoffs in October, but you can still miss it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, you can.
That's definitely a thought going around.
You can't win the division, but you can lose it early on.
Mhm.
So, I think, this one actually surprised me. The best goalie in the league was voted to be Carey Price, with almost half of voters saying that.
Mhm.
Andre Vasilevsky came in second with 17% of the vote. Marc-Andre Fleury in third, and Sergei Bobrovsky in fourth. That really surprises me because I feel like Carey Price has really turned the corner in his career, where he's a little bit on the decline, and injuries have really hurt him.
And I think that's really unfortunate. I really hope he can win a cup. I really hope.
Yeah.
Because he's been a really dominant player for a long time, and it just sucks to see him struggling. And it's him and Hank too. Hank,
Yeah.
and that's so crazy that two of our best goalies of our generation have never won a Stanley Cup.
It's crazy.
And
I mean,
actually,
like you said, go ahead.
No, two in the past. Like, was it? When did Matt Murray win the cup for the Penguins? That was 2017, when it was just him.
16 maybe.
So that was his second. So his rookie year, he won it with them for San Jose, against San Jose. It was 2016.
Yeah, 16.
17. In 17-18, he won it against Nashville. That was the second season. And then you see Jordan Binnington come on and win it his rookie season. I don't know, maybe the young blood is the way to go for goalies now.
It might be. I mean, Holtby did win it in 18.
Yeah.
But you do see more and more of that. I mean,
that was notoriously a position where you have to, like, do your time.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and then they'd play, like we talked about last podcast, Brodeur playing 77 regular season games out of 82. Makes no sense. You don't see that now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like you said last time, too, it's all about the hot goalie. Like, Carey Price has been a dominant goalie. Henrik Lundqvist has been a dominant goalie throughout the regular season, but I just don't think they've been hot at the right time.
Yeah, they have not been hot at the right time, exactly. And, that's all that matters. And I think the best year Carey Price could have won the Cup was the one where Ottawa, I remember that series pretty well, was when Ottawa had that insane stretch with the Hamburg. And I remember that series.
That's right. I remember that.
And I'm like, what? I didn't understand.
Weren't they throwing burgers on the ice? That was crazy.
I love that. I love it, dude.
Yeah. It's always fun when you get those little in-game things.
Not when it's against your team, but,
No, obviously not. Was that against the Leafs?
No, David Ayres. I'm talking about David Ayres.
Oh, David. Dude, that was funny as fuck.
Yeah.
They almost changed that rule, too, for the e-bug situation.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid. They never should have even thought about that.
It's like an awesome situation.
No, I know. That's a win-win situation. If you had a fucking problem with that, you're a fucking loser. You should stop fucking watching hockey. You're a loser if you had a problem with that. I'm sorry.
If you need to win one game, who is the one player you would want on your team? Sidney Crosby wins that one with 44% of the vote. Connor McDavid in second with 30%. Nathan McKinnon in third with 4%, and Patrice Bergeron in fourth with 3%.
If I were to make that choice, I would definitely go with either McKinnon or Crosby.
Absolutely. I mean, Connor McDavid may be the best forward.
I love Connor McDavid, and he's unreal. He's unreal. Like, do you remember when he scored that goal a couple years ago, first game of the season, and he was literally speeding in a school zone where they clocked his speed, and he was literally speeding.
Yeah.
And he's fucking incredible. But if I had to choose to win a game, I'd have McKinnon or Crosby.
You'd have
and I don't care. I think I would have Crosby over McKinnon, but dude, I fucking love McKinnon. Just watch him play.
McKinnon. I think I chose Colorado at the beginning of the year to make a strong cup run and even win it. For a big reason was Nathan McKinnon and their new rookie defenseman, Cale Makar. We both picked to win the Calder.
We did both pick him to win the Calder.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how that goes. But that
he should. I might need to rant about that for a minute, but
yeah, he should. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so didn't NHL.com put out saying if we were to go by stats, we would have Quinn Hughes win it. Quinn Hughes would be the winner.
So dumb.
Did you see that? Did you see what?
Yeah, I did see it. I did see what you're talking about.
I am not. This is nothing against Quinn Hughes. I think he's phenomenal. Like, if there is someone to compare Cale Makar to, it would be Quinn Hughes. Like, it's like this, but I'd say it's still enough to be like, he had over a point per game in his first 20 games or something like that. It was a point a game for his first 20 games. The way that kid can walk on the blue line is just absolutely ridiculous. And I get Quinn Hughes plays a better defensive role in Vancouver, but I've heard he's been playing a lot with Tyler Myers. And I know at the end of the season, a lot of people have been like, oh, Tyler Myers has been awful. But from what I see at the beginning of the season, he wasn't too bad. So I guess Quinn Hughes had a little bit of hope. But just the way Cale Makar can – they're two different players. They really are. They're two different types of offensive defensemen, and that's really good for our game because Makar can just the way Hughes uses his edges is definitely better than Makar, but the way Makar can walk the line, the blue line, and have the confidence, like if I were to structure a perfect offensive defenseman, I would put Rasmus Dahlin and Cale Makar together because Dahlin, that kid has some balls on the blue line. You should see some of the dangles that kid has on the blue line.
Oh yeah.
I've been like, I don't know why you're doing that. Even when he was playing for Alunda, I was even like, watching some of his highlights. I'm like, oh boy, don't do that. But man, I'll tell you what, Cale Makar, the way he can push play, and that's like I said, nothing against Quinn Hughes. He's being used in a more immediate role, and he's being used in which you could argue is, he definitely deserves to win it more than Makar, but just the way Makar can push the play and drive the play, I think it's just he did get injured. It kind of ruined his rhythm a little bit. Yeah. But now that doesn't mean I don't think that Quinn Hughes will win it because of the standards. I think that Cale Makar should win it because I think he's a better rookie.
Absolutely.
But I think Quinn Hughes will win it because Cale Makar got injured and kind of lost a little bit of his rhythm. But I'm pretty sure Cale Makar was playing with Kevin Gravel or something. Was he playing with Kevin Gravel for most of the season? So he wasn't being carried by another defenseman.
No, he wasn't playing with someone who was way better than him. I believe. No. Didn't we talk about Tyler Myers winning the Calder? Rookie season as well?
His rookie season, yeah.
So that's good when you can play with a veteran presence like that. And Cale Makar didn't have that luxury.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And now I'm not nothing on Elias Pettersson, but you do have Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Gabriel Landeskog. But dude, that team, when have they played with that full roster? How many games did they play with that full roster?
Right.
Like most of Makar's games just came with Nathan McKinnon in the lineup, and he's still incredible. So
he's crazy good.
Just the way that kid can stick handle, walk the line is just incredible. Hughes has way better edges, though. I will say the way that kid can skate is fucking.
Oh yeah,
it's incredible. But I just think with the puck, Makar's better, and I think that's definitely more important than. Now, the close second would be skating, but.
Right. So the next vote we have is who is the most complete player in the NHL? And first, again, is Sidney Crosby with 45% of the vote. Patrice Bergeron in second with 25%. Alexander Barkov in third with 7.5%. And Ryan O'Reilly in fourth with 5.3%.
I think Mark Stone should be on there.
I do, too. I also thought Ryan O'Reilly should have been higher than Alexander Barkov. Especially after winning the Selke.
I think Barkov is good because he's proven it more consistently. And now, trust me, Ryan O'Reilly has always been a great player, but Ryan O'Reilly hasn't been playing Selke Ryan O'Reilly for more than a year or so since he played for St. Louis. So
yeah, but this is this year's NHL poll, and I just feel like he's going up against every top center. He's going against the Sidney Crosbys and the Connor McDavids and the Patrice Bergerons of the world every night. He's a top center for that St. Louis team, and he's still putting up some good points.
Yeah, no, nothing away from it. But do you remember, didn't a few years ago he drive into a Tim Hortons in his pickup truck?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. You live and you learn, and look at him now.
But I do have a question for you, actually. I don't know. Did Sidney Crosby ever win the Calder? I mean, not the Calder, I'm sorry. The Selke?
It's not looking like he's won the Selke.
No, he hasn't. Okay, so that's my question to you, actually. Yeah. My question is, with Sidney Crosby being the most complete player, how come he has never won a Selke Trophy?
Okay, so that's the thing with awards, though. You got to look at awards. Who's having who last season, for instance, right? You could be like Connor McDavid, outstanding season. Like, that guy should win MVP. But Nikita Kucherov had a 130-point season.
Right.
Okay, so any other season, Connor McDavid wins the Art Ross, right? That's why you can't look at awards as much. Some of them, yeah, you can, like Conn Smythe, Art Ross. I know I just gave an example of the Art Ross, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought.
We'll move on to who's the game's best trash talker. Brad Marchand takes this one home with 25% of the vote. Drew Doughty in second. Ryan Reeves in third. And Patrick Maroon in fourth. This one's pretty funny to me. I mean, if you listen to all the behind the scenes NHL shows, there's always these four guys running their mouths. I love listening to Ryan Reeves and Drew Doughty. Those are some of the guys.
Personally, I've always been a big Giroux guy, and he's fucking
he called someone a pigeon or something.
Yeah, he called I think it was JVR a pigeon.
Yeah.
He called JVR a pigeon back when JVR was playing for the Leafs after he left the Flyers the first time.
Yeah. Brad Marchand, though. I mean, I don't know how you can't. I don't know. If he's not on your team, I'm sure everyone hates him. That's why he's also voted the worst trash talker at 10.59%. Drew Doughty
hit or
second.
miss, man. Yeah, it's trash talking is hit or miss, man.
Really is. I mean, sometimes worst. Maybe you want to be the worst. Maybe you want to be the best. But Drew Doughty and Brad Marchand.
That's true. Maybe you want to be the worst. Who knows?
I kind of want to be the worst if I'm in that category. I don't know.
But yeah, maybe they mean worst as in who doesn't shut the fuck up and just keep running their mouth. Or like not who has the worst chirps, who just won't shut the fuck up. Who's the worst?
Yeah, exactly. This is one of the questions I actually wanted to ask you. Of all players, past or present, who would you like to see play? Wayne Gretzky takes this one home with 31%. Bobby Orr in second with 15%. Mario Lemieux in third, and Connor McDavid in fourth.
Out of any player of all time?
Yeah. So I actually want to hear one that's not on that list. So not one of those four.
Do you have one on the top of your head?
I do. Ray Bourque.
Ray Bourque?
I would love to see that guy because I heard he was just another dominating presence on the blue line.
One I really wish I got to see more of, I didn't say I got to see a lot of, was Peter Forsberg. Really wish I got to see more of Peter Forsberg.
Absolutely. I mean, there's other guys around there.
Well, I think he's one of the most underrated NHL players of all time.
Yeah, you don't hear a lot of people talk about him, but he was.
You hear all these guys talking about how, dude, like Peter Forsberg is the guy. Like that guy was incredible. You hear all these guys that got to play with him say it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's another one he's another one like that. Like maybe you didn't know how good he really was until you played with him or played against him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, how he controlled the game. Obviously, I'd want to see all of those: Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Orr, Mario Lemieux.
Oh yeah. No, that doesn't mean we don't want to see them play.
Just one of the people not on the list.
The one moron who doesn't want to see Wayne Gretzky play.
Yeah.
Just to have a hot take, he says, "I don't want to see Wayne Gretzky play."
Who is Wayne Gretzky?
Some guy on Twitter trying to get Twitter followers. I don't want to see what Gretzky plays.
Who is he?
Who's he? I think the only person that could have ever. Have you seen Mario Lemieux's fucking junior numbers? I sent you those, right?
No, I didn't see those.
What? Dude, hold on. Mario Lemieux has the most disgusting numbers in juniors I've ever seen in my life. I can't. I don't even understand how a single person can have a season like this. So now this is coming from his hockey DB.
Okay.
So I'm just saying. So his first season, obviously, he was in the QMJHL, so that's known as the not as good league in the CHL.
Right.
It's the third one. But still.
I mean, didn't the Katie Bathurst win that last year?
Yes, I think they did, right?
It
was because of Noah Dobson, though. He's incredible. So his first season with the Laval Voisins, he had 64 games played with 30 goals and 66 assists for 96 points. His first season. His second season in the Q,
Was he 16?
66 games, 84 goals, 100 assists with 184 points in his second season.
Those are unreal, dude.
His last season in the QMJHL. Are you ready for this?
What's that?
70 games played, 133 goals, 149 assists, and 282 points.
In one season?
In one season.
In 77 games, he got 282.
In 70 games.
70
games.
Games.
282 points with almost 100 pins, too. He almost had 100 pins.
Wow.
He had almost 500 career junior points.
It's disgusting.
I think he did.
Was he 17 when he started or 16?
I think he was 15. So it would be 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18. Yeah, so he got a...
Probably 3. So that's...
Because he had 3 seasons.
Yeah, so he was 16
and
years
he didn't...
old.
I don't think he waited another season before he...
15.
I'm looking at it. I wish he got to play more, man.
I would really like to see him play. Even though
even like with him in his tough injuries and with the cancer diagnosis, it's just
yeah.
You hate to hear it.
You do. Moving on here. One of these questions I really found interesting. One of the questions, sorry. Would you like to see players' personalities expressed on their equipment? And if so, how? Skates came in as the top answer with 40%, sticks in second with 4%, and helmets in third with 3%.
I personally, I would love to see it, but I don't know how realistic that would be.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe for like, I feel like they could do maybe like a game like the NFL does, or like, you know how like they have
like the color rush stuff.
Not even just that. I think even a few years ago, if they still don't do it, they do a thing where they have kids draw, kids from children's hospitals draw designs for their cleats, and they play with them for a game. I think they should do something like that.
Actually,
do something like that.
The Maine Mariners in the ECHL did that.
They did?
Yep. They had it was an autism night, I believe. They had them draw on a jersey, like just a paper jersey. They made the jerseys up and they wore them and auctioned them off after.
Oh, that's awesome!
Really cool. Really
that's
cool.
Awesome, dude. I love your stuff like that.
So yeah, I think seeing a little bit more of that, like they're so uniform. Like even on the cancer nights, they're only allowed to wear the warm-up jerseys. I mean, I wish they would be able to wear them for the game, but I don't know.
Which is kind of fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I get you need to. Gotta do what you gotta do.
I guess so. Moving on, this is a different topic, actually. It's who is the best female hockey player in the world. So this one is not actually about the NHL, but it was taken by the NHL players. Marie-Philip Poulin came in first with 40%. Hillary Knight in second with 36%. Kendall Coyne-Schofield, who won or competed in the speed challenge in a couple years ago's All-Star game, came in third with 15%. And Emily Matheson with 1%. 3 USA players on that list.
Well, women's hockey here is getting huge, dude. Like,
it really is. I mean, outside of the U.S., I've actually heard, I don't know if this is true. I just thought I'd bring it up. If checking was really in women's hockey, I think Canada and U.S. would dominate the world like even worse than they are now.
Oh, yeah. No, that wouldn't even. Because even you and I, we remember for our middle school team, we played we obviously played in the Hidden League, and we had girls on our team. Remember?
Oh yeah.
There's some of the best players on our team. So
really, they really were.
Mm-hmm, so
teams actually targeted them a little bit, but it was because they were that good, putting up the points and stuff. Staying with the women's hockey topic, SC Bern of the Switzerland Hockey League has hired a new GM. Florence Schilling is the first woman to be a general manager of a big men's pro hockey team.
That's right.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Love to see that.
Like the NFL, they just had their first women coach.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. She was in the Super Bowl, right? She's for the 49ers, right?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Yeah, she was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. This one I did not like. So we're now onto the off-ice topics. Would you be in favor of relaxing game day dress codes similar to the NBA?
No.
73% of players said yes.
Uh,
I do not like that whatsoever.
I think sometimes they end up making themselves look like clowns. I really do.
I think of the NBA as really like a joke league, dude, when they come in like that.
Exactly. And I get if that's what you want your image for your league to be, sure.
Yeah, this is a business.
Yeah, this is like you still got like the saying of "look good, you play good."
Absolutely, I love that.
True statement, man.
It really is. If you're confident walking in, if you're worried about, is everyone gonna think my shirt is a little too ratty for this?
Who fucking cares?
Dude, like seriously, just wear the suit. It's not a big deal. It makes you look awesome. Probably makes you play better.
You already see guys being creative with suits, man.
You do. I love seeing it, especially around Christmas time or the holidays when they wear like
wear an ugly suit. We don't care. Just like I don't know, have your own personality to it. But I don't want to see some clown walking in with a Givenchy how the fuck you say it, Givenchy or whatever the hell, the shirt with the holes in it. The whole point of the shirts have holes in it. I'm like, I don't want to see a player walking into a rink like that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you wear an ugly suit, it's 100 times better than a t-shirt and sweatpants.
Whatever designer you go on.
Yeah, whatever designer that you want to name. I don't even know any. The funniest player in the NHL was voted to be Keith Yandle with 18%. No surprise there. Drew Doughty in second, Marchand in third, and Phil Kessel in fourth. I didn't really think of Phil Kessel as a funny guy.
He's definitely. I could see him as a dry sense of humor. Like
absolutely, yeah.
He doesn't give you much of a reaction to what he's saying, but you just think it's funny.
Those are the funniest things. When someone tells a joke and they just say it with a straight face, I find those the funniest.
You know what you'd really like is Anthony Jeselnik. He's a stand-up comedian on Netflix. He has some really good specials. He has that kind of sense of humor. His whole time straight face, like, he's hilarious, but he's a little edgy. He's done a couple. He's done.
Yeah, but that's when it's funny.
That's when it is funny. That's personally how I think, but not how the world thinks. So.
Best bromance in the league: David Perron and Ryan O'Reilly in first, Joe Thornton and Brent Burns in second, and Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner in third. And then the funny one of Matthew Tkachuk and Drew Doughty in fourth. That one's hilarious.
There's a lot of sexual tension there.
I guess
see it on the ice. You can see it on the ice.
Yeah, those are always so fun to hear them both get so worked. It is.
I personally, I don't know. I know a lot of people aren't, but I'm a huge Matthew Tkachuk. I love him. I love him. He's a little shithead. He really is. But
he is. Reminds me of you.
Even when he plays the Leafs, dude, I'm not mad about you. I'll be fine with watching him. I could watch him play all day. I love him. He's a great player.
Yeah. Best player to follow on social media would be PK Subban.
Since Bobby Lou retired.
Yeah. Alex Ovechkin in second, Brad Marchand in third, and Max Domi in fourth. I always love it.
Really? I follow him on Instagram. I didn't know that.
Max Domi?
Yeah.
I follow Marchand. It's funny when all the players roast the fans back when they're trying to chirp.
That's hilarious. The thing. I haven't seen Max do that. The only thing I see on his Instagram is really promote. He likes to promote his book a lot. He's a lot going on in his life. I will say that. Like he's a lot of that. But
maybe that's why then.
Yeah, maybe it's just he's not really as funny. He's like he is a good follow though. Like he has a lot of good. He has one about Tiger Woods. A picture of him and his dad and oh my god, what the fuck? Tom Brady commented on his post. Mr. Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
So moving on to the best visitors dressing room. Edmonton Oilers coming in first over the Vegas Golden Knights, Detroit Red Wings, and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Obviously, it's the newer rinks, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of expected. Actually, I saw the Minnesota Wild on an ESPN one.
Yeah, they have a nice...
couple players said Edmonton's like a penthouse. There's so much space.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's a big thing is space in a locker room of hockey.
Who do you think is the best mascot? Is that one of them?
That is one of them, actually.
It is one of them. Was it gritty?
We'll get to it.
It probably was gritty.
Which team has the worst visiting dressing room? This one I found the most interesting. No, it wasn't Winnipeg.
Was it Columbus?
No, it was Washington.
Oh, that's right.
Washington and Boston.
You told me that.
Yeah. I love it. We were talking about this earlier. I love it when these NHL guys complain about locker rooms.
I know.
Because they're still better than like most locker rooms that you'll be in for any other
league. All right, so we were talking about what was the worst locker room you've been in?
Worst locker room I've ever been in? Oof.
I have a good one.
There were a couple battles. All right, what's yours?
Have you ever been to Suki before they
Suki, yeah, I was just about to say that.
So in Maine, where's that one? That's near
that's in Winslow.
Yes, Winslow. So that's just south of, or was it? It's near Augusta.
Right next to it, yeah. It's north of Augusta, yeah.
North of Augusta. It's this really old rundown rink. The first time I go in there, I open the door, and obviously it's a youth rink, so ice is over there, and there's the stands over there. I walk in, I'm like, holy shit, first of all, what's that smell? And why is it so damn cold in here?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the hell? So we get into the locker room, and I'm not fucking kidding you. The only heating they had in the entire rink was a space heater in the locker rooms.
Oh my gosh.
So you had to prepare for when you go to this rink. You had to fucking get winter mittens on and like wear them under your gloves, dude. Like that rink was awful. I'm so glad they tore it down.
It was bad. Like the rink, like the boards were not even straight on it. It was crazy.
No.
So I had that was gonna be my number one answer, but since you already said that one, I'll go to. I think number two would be for showers. I think it's showers and stuff would be.
Oh, the showers.
Do you remember when we played in Connecticut for high school?
In Trumbull?
Yeah. Not at the dual rinks. The one that looked like a barn. I forget the name of it.
Oh.
It's in Milton, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No hot water. It was
awful.
Dude, I swear it was like probably.
That was awful because I left school I left school an hour before everyone else, and I didn't get there until 30 minutes before the game started. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, that was crazy. School should have let us go earlier. But, like, dude, you remember after the game, no hot water. We're driving back during the Patriots playoff game, and I'm trying to let's do it on the radio.
I know.
Terrible.
We're all from New England, and we need to have the Patriots win.
All right. Player poll here. Best jersey. We talked about this last podcast.
I think Vegas.
Chicago came in first. Vegas is in second. I agree with that. Toronto Maple Leafs in third, and then New York Rangers.
I love the Leafs St. Pat's jerseys, though.
Those ones are my one of my very, very favorites.
I was going to order a Sandine St. Pat's jersey because I was going to go to a Leafs game before the season shut down. But oh well. One of my favorite jerseys actually is the Colorado blue one. Not the stadium. Colorado!
I love that blue one.
I love that blue jersey too. I hate people overreact with these jerseys, man. They're playing for one fucking game. They're not that bad.
Stadium series.
Yeah, they're not that bad.
Nope.
Like, are you fucking serious? Like, I never got that because when you see the game, when you watch the game, obviously you can still see the jerseys, but it's not that big of a focal point.
No, it's really not.
I think everyone should do what LA did. Just make it a part of the helmets, gloves.
Yeah,
that was
so cool. Fun with it because it's only one game.
Exactly.
Like, you don't have to worry about the reaction for the whole season. Just do one game.
But people still make a big huff about it.
They do.
Shut
so
the hell
dumb. Which arena has the best ice? The Bell Center in first, Rogers Place in second, Bell MTS Place in third, and T-Mobile Arena in fourth. So three out of the four in Canada, and then T-Mobile Arena in the middle of the desert in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I'm surprised because they got to use that for UFC fights and stuff.
That's crazy to me. That doesn't make any sense. They're doing so. Props to that. Seattle needs to look at everything George McPhee and the Vegas Knights have done and just do that. Do the exact same thing. I don't think you could get any better than what they're doing right now.
Dude, they're an outstanding organization, and they've already been around for 2 or 3 years.
Already. No state tax in Las Vegas either.
It makes players want to play there, and people always forget the location of where teams are because I guarantee you money. Austin Matthews is going to leave the Leafs in a few years to go play in Arizona. He wants to play in Arizona.
You think so?
If they don't make a some noise, he's going to go to Arizona.
Yeah. All right.
I think that's why
you heard it here first, folks.
I think that's why he's structured a 6-year contract. I mean, if they don't do something and make some noise, he's going to go to Arizona. He already bought a house there.
Yeah. Did he? So he lives there in the offseason.
He's staying there right now.
Oh,
no, he's not. He's staying in Toronto right now. Sorry. Yeah. He goes there in the offseason. I know he did buy a house in Arizona to stay in the offseason. So
we're on to the last question. Gritty is the best mascot in the NHL, just like you said, Ryan. The others are all like 1%, so they're all pretty much tied.
Yeah, because Gritty's the guy. There's no other mascot that's as big of a joke as Gritty is.
Alrighty, so we're now done with the NHL player polls. I think, let's see here. I did want to ask you another question. Would you define a player like Austin Matthews or Sidney Crosby as a physical player? And before you answer, I just want to put in my point is I do think so because they have to absorb so many hits and play through the contact that I would say they are a physical player.
Okay, I will say this. Austin Matthews is a big guy. He already is a big guy. And Sidney Crosby is sturdy. And I will say Sidney Crosby plays more physical than Austin Matthews does. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
He's more willing to use his body. But I will tell you one thing. Austin Matthews is one of the best players in the league at knowing how to use your stick.
Yes.
I want to tell anyone to watch a Leafs game and just watch Austin Matthews because, first of all, every game, I feel like he could score every game. He scored 2-3 goals every game, I swear. You watch it. He has an opportunity, a pretty solid opportunity to score 2 or 3 times a game. And I think he even led the league in hit posts at one point. He's top 5 in hit posts this season. So just the way that guy can go into corners, he's really good at So do you remember when he scored the 4 goals in his debut?
Yes, I do.
Remember when he had that puck around Karlsson?
Yes.
It's the small things he does. If I suggest people to look it up, but if you watch it in slow motion, you can see Austin. So Karlsson's skating towards his own net, a back turn to Austin towards the boards. So what Austin does is he taps Karlsson's left shin pad to make him think he's going just squeak around him. So then Karlsson kind of starts to lean back in that other way, and then Austin Matthews just skates around him the other way, takes the puck, 5-hole goal.
Yep.
So, and the way he can go into corners and just pop sticks, he's really good at stick work, and it's just incredible. And you could tell because of his release is insane. Him and Jack Eichel have incredible releases, and that is one of the hardest things for a goalie to stop because when a goalie knows you're about to shoot, he'll save it 9 times out of 10. But if you're skating down the ice and that goalie doesn't even know you're about to shoot it and you get that puck off quicker than he even knew that you had the puck, that's a goal, dude.
All right, so we'll talk about the NHL season for a second, and then we'll move on to the California stuff. First, I saw escrow could potentially be 35% of the NHL players' check if the season is not finished, and so players and GMs are pushing for this season to be played, to be finished up.
Yeah, I think they should.
I do too. Artemi Panarin said he would actually sit out a year.
I saw that he said it was a joke, though. He said it was
I don't know.
Though.
You think?
Yeah, I think he was kidding because he signed a $12 million contract. Sorry, no, not the contract itself isn't worth $12 million. He's making $12 million a year. Sorry.
Yeah.
But with New York state tax, it goes on $6 or $7 million or something like that.
Yeah, which is still more money than I'll probably see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, honestly. Some teams have already begun doing evaluation meetings, not exit interviews. So that's
good.
Good indication to see they are really pushing for this. They're trying to.
And that's good, and that's what you want for your league.
You do, yes.
And I'm sorry, I just don't understand why the NBA isn't pushing for that. And I get it. The safety of people is 100% their priority. But I don't know. I just don't understand why their meetings are going so much different than the NHL.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't make sense to me.
I'm not. I don't know if anyone knows why. Like, I'd love to know why. Just I don't know why that's going so much differently in the NHL. I get they make and they make a lot more money. They'll be losing a lot more money out of this. So I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of money. A lot of money.
Lots of money.
Yesterday morning, the hockey world saw Colby Cave die after suffering a brain bleed and dying in the hospital after the surgery. Such a sad thing to see. 25 years old.
It sucks. It was so hard to see. What I read for the procedure too, and it sucks because I read and I could be 100% wrong. I'm not a doctor. Right. But what I read online from the procedure, this is how I interpret it. It didn't seem like it was that invasive of a procedure. So like, it didn't seem like this is something that's normal to happen, or if this is even a high likelihood of something to happen. So that's why it's just awful. And I can't imagine how they're feeling about it. And it's even worse. He couldn't see his family before they left. And I really do wish them the best. I hope they.
Yeah. Our hearts go out to his family and friends through this difficult time. So we'll move on now to Seattle, which is supposed to enter the NHL, I believe not next year, but the year after. Potential names for Seattle. I believe you had some news on this front. I really wanted it to be the Kraken, but let's see what you have to say.
I personally think it'll be the Sockeyes, so they can keep it the SS, Seahawks, the Seahawks, the Sounders, and then the Sockeyes. I think they'll go with that. I think they'll like that.
Sockeyes. Heard it here again, folks, from Ryan Davis.
I bet you will have.
We'll move on now to the California. We talked about this a little bit last time. The California team struggles. The three California teams are now ranked in the three last spots in the Western Conference, with San Jose being in last, Los Angeles in 14th, and Anaheim in 13th place in that Western Conference.
Now, okay. So I'm going to ask you a quick question. We're going to do a little, see what you think of this, okay?
All righty.
So I went back to the 2016-2017 season just so we can keep it recent to see how far back, like, to see where the drop-off is. Mm-hmm. And 2016, the LA Kings, so every season they try to play 16 games, 16 home games against Eastern Conference teams. So that means when they come there, they do the road trip and go back. So it's usually they have 16 games that they face where people have their own road trip.
Right.
LA in 2016-2017 season had 12 out of 16 wins out of that. Anaheim, 11 out of 16, and San Jose, 11 out of 16. 2017-18, LA, 11 out of 16, Anaheim, 12 out of 16. But this one's weird. So San Jose was 7 out of 16 on their own road trip, on the California road trip, which I thought was odd because the next season was awful for it. And I think this is where you start to see the decline in the California team. And LA was 5 for 16, Anaheim was 7 for 16, and San Jose was 8 for 16. But I don't know what it was, but this year they're starting to come back already. And I don't understand that. Maybe not league-wide, but they're starting to make some noise. You can't come to their arena and just win because they're bad now. So this season, they only got to play 14 games. Each team got to only play 14 games. LA was 9 for 14, which surprised the hell out of me. Anaheim was 6 for 14, and San Jose was 8 for 14. I'm like, what? How the hell?
So you see them coming back pretty soon.
I see that 2018 was an off year for the California teams. And this, if you're talking about the road trips, because this is mostly about the Eastern Conference teams going to California to their road trips and how daunting it is. Because you remember in the past, used to be this thing where it's like make or break your season, basically, right? People would always treat it like that as this huge thing. it's becoming I just think 2018 season was definitely just an off year for all that. And it's very interesting because you'd be surprised with some of these teams that they've beaten. Like Tampa Bay didn't have the greatest record as I thought. Pittsburgh didn't have the greatest record as I thought. What happened? So it's very interesting to see. People don't put into account travel and stuff like that, the outside factors into regular season games as much as I think they should. Because
they really should. Western Conference teams, although here's the thing. So you see San Jose, Los Angeles, and Anaheim all in the bottom three. They're all based in California, as we went over. And the Western Conference has the most travel out of either conference.
Really?
So I think
because
everything's so spread out over there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're so used to everything being closer in the Northeast.
Right. But why don't you
get
see
to Boston from here for an hour and a half?
Right. Yep. But if you say travel is such a big part of it, why don't you see teams like Vegas struggling, like Vancouver or Dallas, places that are not necessarily super close?
Okay, so tell me this. There's a lot of specifics that go down to each and every game and every little thing. What do you think the mode of transportation that Dallas is using more than others? Do you think they're flying more? Do you think they're on a train more? Do you think they're on a bus more? All that stuff really does affect you differently. You got to look at, okay, how many back-to-back games did they have? How many games did they play at home and then fly to play the next night and across the country? Like, there's so much that comes in the season and a team's record that obviously that's why we do 82 games, because then it obviously eventually evens itself out, and then teams start to realize which teams are the better teams and stuff like that. So
yeah, you do. With Dallas, I think all these Western Conference teams mostly use planes for most of their travel.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if it's in-state, use a bus.
I'm just using like.
No, I know what you're saying.
Like, yeah.
I know in the metro, most of them use.
I like to use a lot of
trains. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, because everything is connected by trains here in the Northeast.
It is.
It's kind of funny.
It is.
I've never really I've ridden a train once, but I've lived in the Northeast pretty much my whole life. So
yeah,
it's weird.
Almost your whole life.
Yeah.
But that is a good point that goes into that travel. So I'm curious. I don't have the stats in front of me. So teams at the bottom of the league, I'm curious if that's due mostly to travel. Because sometimes you see good teams. I think Los Angeles is actually gonna be a good team in the next couple of years.
They have like the number one ranked prospect pool.
Yeah, they're
at least
pretty
during
good.
The season they did. I don't think so, but
no, but either way, if you think they're good or not, you probably still think that they're gonna be moving up soon.
Yeah. I mean, they've had some pretty solid picks. That Bjornfot, how do you say his name? He's who the hell is that, dude? And now he's one of their best defensemen.
Yeah.
Out of fucking nowhere.
It's cool when you see guys like that come out of nowhere and just make their presence known around the league. But like you were saying though, I wonder if most of the time that's due to travel and scheduling stuff.
Yeah, maybe it could.
It probably doesn't have as much to do as what I'm thinking about. But in that Western Conference, I think it definitely needs more than what it does in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and maybe that's why the Eastern Conference is more competitive than the Western Conference.
It might be, because you probably have more tired games in the Western Conference. If you're playing a back-to-back in the Eastern Conference, it's not nearly as much travel as a back-to-back in the Western Conference.
No, you just hop on the train, a couple hours, you're there.
Like I just read something that said, let's say LA was supposed to play Toronto. In order to get to Toronto, they have to not only sit on a plane for 5.5 hours and cross the border, they have to enter a different time zone. And put all that together. That wreaks havoc on the body. So you sit on the plane.
People can't even do that on vacation. I can't even do that on vacation.
No.
And have to play an NHL game the next night? What the hell?
Yeah, maybe a fight the next night. So
yeah,
that's crazy. And then expected to put up points like some of the LA Kings top guys or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like we talked about last podcast. It's much easier to go the other way from Toronto to LA, but I don't know how we would be able to do it. It's crazy crossing 3 time zones. It's not something these teams look forward to. That's why most of them on the Eastern Conference and Western Conference, they'll put them all together.
That's why these guys only play 16 games.
That's why, or 14 now, right?
Well, I mean, they're scheduled for 16. They were scheduled for 16.
Oh, they were.
But yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha. All right. So maybe that's why. So you said they won 8 out of 14 and stuff like that. Maybe they just haven't played the top guys yet.
San Jose. That was San Jose. Yeah, 14. Okay, hold on. Can we talk about something for a second? So
yeah.
What if Ottawa gets 1, 2, and 4? Now that's a possibility because
for draft picks.
Yeah, maybe we resume the season and somehow the Islanders don't make the playoffs, right?
Right.
That means there's a possibility that Islanders pick for Peugeot becomes the first. Now the Ottawa Senators already have San Jose's pick and they have their pick. So theoretically, they could go 1, 2, and 4.
Wow.
Or something like that. It's crazy. Now the odds of that happening are probably like astronomical.
Yeah.
Like
maybe
winning the
not.
lottery. But dude, I'll tell you. And I read something weird. So do you know who Tim Stutzel is?
Tim Stutzel, no.
Yeah. So he is supposed to go 3rd overall in the draft this year, and he played for the German team and World Juniors. Right now for the draft, there's a consensus 1-2. It's Lafreniere and then Quentin Byfield.
Yep.
And they're talking about how Stutzel might be able to become the second pick.
Second or third?
He like how I don't remember who it was. I think it was Tape Talk on Instagram. He's talking about how Steve Yzerman might, because you know how Steve Yzerman is. He wants a guy. He's gonna take the guy. Like he doesn't care who else is there. He wants a guy. He's gonna take it. He's been showing extreme interest, and I don't know how I feel about that because now you haven't seen his stats yet, but he plays in the DEL right now. I think he's just below a point per game as a forward. But Quentin Byfield is a 6'6" two-way center above like a point per game. He had like 70, 80 points or something like that. He's going to get like 40 goals.
Yep.
That player doesn't come around that often. And I'm unsure why you wouldn't. And I can see because I've heard for him is he has an astronomically high ceiling, but a horribly low basement, like
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Horribly low floor. So maybe he doesn't want to take the risk on it, but personally, I would take Byfield if I had the second pick. But I would put some thought into Tim Stutzel. That's a very interesting proposition because I feel like he's very good. He's like he's kind of like Marner. And he's really good with his hands. He's kind of quick. He won't score too much, but it's creative, good hands, stuff like that.
So Ottawa, if you're Ottawa, are you looking to take mostly forwards or mostly defensemen?
Depends where I pick.
If you're picking 1, 2, 4.
Personally, if I'm doing 1, 2, 4, I'm doing Lafreniere, Byfield, Jamie Drysdale.
Really?
Because Lafreniere is a winger, Byfield's a center.
Yep.
So that could be a insane combination for years to come.
Oh yeah.
I just think Byfield needs to be in a right place to be able to really exceed. And Jamie Drysdale is a defenseman for Erie, and he's been looking good. He's been looking like a really good offensive defenseman, like Ryan Merkley. That was the one that playing for San Jose that had the attitude problems.
Yep.
And I don't know, he'd be a really good solid pick. Having him and Thomas Chabot on your DN, pretty solid because they have Eric Brandstrom. He started to play better as the season went on, as I heard. So they have a lot in place. So
now, if you're Detroit with that third pick, that's who you're talking about, right? Detroit getting that third. You're Detroit with that third pick. Is that German guy you said? Is he a defenseman or is he
He's a forward. He's a winger. That's why he's like Mitch. That's why he's like Mitch.
Oh, okay. Sorry. If I'm Detroit though, I'm taking a defenseman all day.
If I were Detroit, I would take Jamie Drysdale.
You would?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because I read today that they're actually looking to shop Mantha and Bertuzzi if they don't want to. Not Bertuzzi because his contract is not. I don't think, but they're looking to shop Mantha if they can't get any contract negotiations any further. So
yeah, I mean Detroit, they let up 267 goals and had a negative 122 goal differential. I'm looking for a defenseman if I'm that.
Yeah, but he's not the kind of defenseman you're looking for. But I will say Detroit has a really good defenseman in Moritz Seider. So if they can get Drysdale and Seider, that's a pretty good. You're looking at a pretty combo. Solid decor. That's a pretty solid decor right there.
That's a good start. But I believe, I mean, they've had struggles with goaltending, but I do think they have a good goaltender in Bernier.
Yeah, they do, and obviously he's not for the future, but.
No, but for the current time.
But for current time, like he'll do his best for you, and he'll give you 100,000%. And I've seen that for the Leafs, him stopping 50 shots a game. But
yeah, even back in juniors when he was with Halak and Lewiston, that was a great duo. Yeah, Yaroslav. Halak had that big season in 2009, 2010 with the Canadiens.
Yeah, in the playoffs, carried him.
Yeah, he did. Just couldn't finish it up against the Flyers.
Oh, TV shows.
Oh, that's right.
What's some good stuff to watch while we're in quarantine?
So what's some good stuff to watch while we're in quarantine? Have you seen Tiger King? Dude,
yes.
Have you seen Tiger King?
Carol Baskin 100% killed her husband.
All right, you think so too?
I think Joe Exotic should not be in jail. That is a fact.
No.
What's the name of the other guy? The one with the bandana.
Jeff Lowe.
He should be in jail. That motherfucker should be in jail. Not Joe Exotic. No, I think Joe Exotic is a shitty person.
Yeah.
All those guys were pretty shitty people except for the ones that worked for him. And the boyfriend, I thought I actually really liked the meth head boyfriend. I actually really liked him.
He seemed like a nice guy.
He is. He seemed I love those true crime ones. If I were to ever create a TV show, right, I would create a spoof true crime documentary series. There's already one on Netflix called American Vandal. That's a good one. But
another one to watch.
I would definitely make a spoof true crime documentary. If I could make a TV show, that would definitely be one of the. It would be hilarious. I'd love it.
Dude, so about Tiger King, my girlfriend sent me a picture of Jeff Lowe and Carol Baskin's first husband. I don't know if you've seen that picture, but they look pretty similar, and I'm leaning towards them being the same person. Could you imagine them being the same person?
No, the thing that got me was when that attorney said, in the will, he's like, I've never in my years have I seen in a will encased my disappearance. And he's like, in case my, was it 27 years of being an attorney, I've never seen in a will in case my disappearance. What the fuck? Who puts that in a will?
Carol fucking Baskin.
No, it was her husband's will.
I know. No, she took the will and redid it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, that's just weird as fuck. I'm telling you.
All right, do you have any TV shows you want to watch? You like watching? Like top 5, top 3?
Top 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Ancient Aliens guy. I really love
Ancient Aliens? I've never heard of that.
No? All right, so it's an older show, but it just goes into all these ancient cities and how so there's blocks that fit together. I think it's in Machu Picchu or something. And they fit together so perfectly, the blocks, that you can't even fit a piece of paper between them.
Is there an episode about the pyramids?
Yeah. There's so many. It's so fun. I love the show.
All right, I'll look it up. That looks good.
Although it's a great show to fall asleep to because the guy's
is this boring narrator? It's like
no,
it's that show on Animal Planet that everyone loves to watch.
I don't know.
I don't remember the name of it. There's a show on Animal Planet everyone loves to watch.
I don't know, dude. I just love that fucking Ancient Aliens guy. He's not boring necessarily. He's just got the voice and the tone, the way he shifts up and down. It just makes you want to take a nap sometimes. This is a good show. I love Big Bang Theory. That's one of my favorites. I was really sad when they ended that one. Let's see. I'm a big movie guy, though. I love movies.
Movies.
Yeah, funny ones though. I don't like.
Yeah, I've been on some pretty funny shows I've been watching. I'm a big comedy show. Like,
yes.
I love comedies for my TV shows.
All right, what's your comedy shows?
My top 3 for shows to watch. This one is only for Amazon Prime. It's called The Boys. This one isn't as comedic. This one is it's just a good show. It's very solid. It's about like what if superheroes were real today, what that would be like, and the corruption inside of them, and what that would be like. And it's very interesting. Very interesting. It's a very good show. I can't recommend it enough. I'm so excited for another season. My second show is a show called People Just Do Nothing. Have you heard of it?
No, People Just Do Nothing.
People Just Do Nothing. It's on Netflix. The funniest show I've ever seen. Okay, so do you like The Office, right?
Love The Office.
So do you love that like mockumentary, awkward sense of humor type of deal?
It's amazing.
This will be right down your alley. So this is about these 4 or 5 British guys, and I can't remember if it was 4 or 5, but they run a pirate radio station in the UK, and it just goes about their lives, and they're fucking morons, but it is hilarious. One of the funniest shows I've ever fucking seen.
Like Derek.
Within the first episode, there's a scene where I'm like, holy shit. Like my mouth's open. I'm like, what the fuck? And then my last one, best show of all time, 100% in my opinion, is a show called Barry.
What is it?
Barry. So if you have any type of HBO, like OTV,
okay.
If you have HBO, it's incredible. And now if I tell you the plot of it, it's not going to sound that interesting. So it's about this bodyguard, this holy shit, Ryan, get your words out. This hitman that wants to be done with the life. So he wants to become a actor. But he just, so much of his life is just caught up with being a hitman, and it all ends up biting him in the ass every season. And it's just his life catching up with him when he's trying to move on and trying to become somebody new. And it's hilarious. Trust me, that show's hilarious. That show's funny, but it blends comedy and drama in no way I've ever seen before. It's seriously one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like, do you know Bill Hader?
I don't know.
What? Hold on. I have to send you a picture of Bill. You know who Bill Hader is.
I probably do, but I'm
going to text you a picture of him.
I don't know the name.
But he was on SNL.
Oh, then I probably know.
Have you ever seen Stefan, the gay correspondent in SNL?
No.
That's Bill Hader. It's so funny. Here. You've definitely seen this guy before.
What's his name? Guillermo on, is it Jimmy Fallon? Is that the Tonight Show? Dude, that's so funny.
Guillermo. This is Bill Hader. Here we go.
What was that show called again? Sorry.
Which one?
The show that you were just talking about?
Barry.
Okay.
So good. I can't even recommend that show.
Oh, enough. Yes, I know this guy.
Yeah.
He's in a show, too.
What?
He's in a show.
Yeah, Barry.
Oh, he's in Barry. No, I did different show. I swear he's in another show.
This show's outstanding. I cannot recommend enough. It's one of those, it's kind of like The Office, too. And you know how BJ Novak used to write?
Yeah.
Bill Hader is very heavily involved in
the writing,
production, and the production of it. And there's this one scene in the first season where him and his friend are in this car, and they're talking about his friend talks himself into a hole, and the situation that builds from it is just, it's incredible. It's just an incredible show. I cannot recommend it.
So I think that just about does it for this episode of Dirty Biscuit. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Week.